All right, welcome to this arm training video. I just got back from training arms in the gym, so what better time for me to just film an arm training video? So let's get started right away. Here's my transformation when it comes to arm training. As you can see, I've made a lot of mistakes, by the way, over the years training my arms wrong. And if you're facing the same difficulty with growing your arms despite your efforts, I'm here to help you. So, as you can see in the video itself, right? So let's get started. Now, before I get into the specific exercises for arms that I used to grow my arms, I want to get into a few of the things that you need to keep in mind regarding arm training. So, the first thing you need to keep in mind is you need to have a mix of light and heavy weights. What do I mean by that? So, you need to have like a workout program where you have both heavy weights but also light weights, so you can squeeze and stretch and control the weight better, but also heavy weights, so you're actually exposing your body to more weights over time. You're not just like stagnating, you're doing the same 20-pound bicep curls for months and years. So you're increasing the weight, but you're not going too ego lifting that you're just like using your spine to lift the weight up. It's not crazy ego lifting either. But I also want you to get away from the restricted sort of proper form, just stand in one place and curl like this kind of vibe as well. So you're going to have a mix of both. We will go through the exercise and I'll tell you exactly what I do for my arm training and what I did. I still do, by the way. So the squeeze and the stretch. We'll go into this in detail when I'm going to talk about the specific exercises. But you want to make sure you squeeze at the top whenever you're doing like a bicep curl, or squeeze at the bottom when you're doing a push down. Like squeeze really hard as much as you can. Like it's almost like you're trying to bend your elbow the other way. Of course it won't bend, but you're trying your very best to bend it. It's like that hard of a squeeze. And then when it comes to the stretch, let's say on a preacher curl, you're going to stretch it all the way up. You're going to stretch your biceps. You're going to feel the stretch, and then you're going to pull back, really struggle, and get the full rep. Okay? Now, for arms, you're going to go higher reps. Now, I am saying you're going to go heavy weights, which is going to be lower reps. But we're going to be dropping the weight. We're going to be doing drop sets and supersets. I'm going to get into the detail when I cover the exercise section of the video. But you typically would want higher reps for arms. For legs, for arms, higher reps is always better. We'll get into the details soon. Now, arms before chest and back. If your chest and back is overdeveloped and your arms are kind of skinny, your legs are kind of skinny, they're kind of lacking in the, like, your body part is lacking in your legs and arms, your physique is going to look very weird because you have this thick chest and back, but then very tiny arms. You're going to look like the classic spider physique, and it doesn't look that attractive. So you want to change that. You want to train arms before your chest day and before your back day. So let's say triceps before chest and biceps before back. You might have to use straps on back day if you're going to do biceps and then back, because your lifts might be compromised. You might want to use straps. But what I'm saying is you want to prioritize arms over chest and back. Because a big chest is impressive, cool, sure. But if you have small shoulders and small arms, but a big, massive chest and a big, massive back, your physique's just going to look unattractive. Okay? So that's one thing you can do if you're training like 3 or 4 times a week and you don't want to add a separate arm day. But if you're training more times a week, you can absolutely have a completely separate arm day in the week. And even 2 arm days in a week. So more frequency. You're going to train arms twice a week. You can even have that. But again, if you don't want to train that many times a week, if you want to train just 3 or 4 times a week, you can definitely do arms before chest and back. So triceps before chest, biceps before back. Now let's get into the specific exercises that I do for biceps and then triceps. We're going to cover biceps first. So, dumbbell and barbell curls. So starting with the classic standing, alternating hand dumbbell curls. It's never going to be out of fashion. It's always going to be a basic movement for every arm day. Standing bicep curls. I recommend you do these heavy in the beginning. Of course, warm up properly. Don't just go into the gym and lift the heaviest dumbbell up. You're going to injure yourself. Warm up properly. Do a lot of mobility work, a lot of stretching, a lot of sort of just get ready for that sort of weight. But I recommend you use straps so you're fatiguing your forearm while doing your bicep curl. And I want you to go heavy. For me, I can curl the 30 pounds pretty light, pretty easily, 10 to 12 reps, not that much body English. But I usually start now with 40 pounds. I can't get like a proper strict curl with the 40 pounds, and I don't want to. I actually swing my body a little bit. I swing not too much to a point where I can hurt my biceps. I don't swing that much. I also don't curl up my spine. I just swing just a little bit. Get the momentum, I get the weight up, slowly control it back down. Get it up, slowly come back down. I get about 8 to maybe 10 reps. Let's say I get 8 reps with the 40 pounds. I drop set it with 25 pounds. So 40 pounds for 8, 25 pounds for, let's say, 12 reps. That's 20 reps total for one set. That's it. That's what I mean by high reps. In one of the previous slides, I mentioned higher reps, but also heavier weight. This is how you're going to structure it. You're going to start with a heavy weight. You're going to do that for as many reps as you can, 8 to 10 typically at the very least. Don't curl a weight you can do only for 3 reps. 8 to 10 reps, and then you're going to drop set it with a lower weight. So 40 pounds for 8 reps, 25 pounds for about 12 reps, totaling about 20 reps for that first set. Figure that out for yourself. It's going to be the best way to start your arm day. With biceps or with tricep, whichever one you choose to start with, this is the best way. Now, the seated dumbbell curls, this variation I'm not really a huge fan of, so I avoid it completely. I don't really like it. It's just kind of awkward. I don't feel cool when I'm lifting, like when I'm doing the seated upright sort of dumbbell curls. I don't really like the exercise. I'm not a fan of it, so I just completely avoid it. I stick to the standing with the straps, heavy, and then I go high reps with a drop set. Now, this one, incline bench lean. So you're going to set up the incline bench as if you're about to do a sort of like incline bench press, but you're going to do incline bench curls, alternating. These feel amazing. There is a variation of this you can do at the cable stack. I'll show you in one of the next slides, but this variation is amazing. I did this today, and every time I do it, it feels like I'm going to tear my biceps. Not in a bad way. It just feels so good. The squeeze and the stretch, it just feels so good. Okay, it's like my biceps are about to tear my skin and pop out, you know. It's an amazing exercise. Give it a try. You're going to love it. Now, off an incline bench. What do I mean by that? You're going to place your arm on the incline bench you're doing. Like, let's say you're going to set it up for like an incline bench press. You're going to put your arm on the incline bench, and you're going to get the arm all the way down, and then you're going to curl back up. It's like a preacher curl machine. I'm going to cover preacher curls in one of the next slides. But I don't actually personally like preacher curl machines. The motion is just too restrictive. Even if single-handed, it's awkward for me. But this variation is very close. It's a type of a preacher curl, but with a dumbbell, and it's a lot more free, so I can move my arm a bit better. I just like it more, okay? You don't have to go heavy on this, by the way. You don't want to go 25 pounds, way too heavy. You can't even get the weight up. Choose a lighter weight. For me, I can curl 30 pounds easily, but on this exercise, I do 15 pounds, and I control it, stretch at the bottom. Like I was talking about the stretch at the bottom, really stretch, and then you're going to get the weight back up. You're going to squeeze as hard as you can. You're going to turn your hand like this the other way when you come up, and you're going to stretch all the way down. Lighter weight, higher reps. 12 to about 15 reps for this one. Now, hammer curls. There's a few different ways you can do hammer curls. Like I mentioned, I don't actually like doing seated upright dumbbell curls. Same goes for hammer curls. I do them exactly as I do the standing dumbbell curls normally. So normal dumbbell curls, hammer curls, okay? I do them with the straps, I do them heavy, and I do the similar sort of like drop set. So 40 pounds for, let's say, 10 to 12 reps. I drop set it with 25 pounds again, as many as I can go. Usually it's about 25 reps for that first set. I don't do that many sets, but I'd make sure that each and every set is really, really intense. So, hammer curls you can do also on the cable stack machine with the rope. I don't really like that movement, so I just stick to the dumbbells. I just stick to heavy, and then I do high reps with a drop set, like I said before. Now, barbell curls. Barbell curls are fun. Let me tell you, when you have like a big barbell, you have like 10 kgs on each side, and you're curling it up, and you have your friend in front of you who's spotting you, because you can't get that many reps with that heavy of a weight, right? And I don't really care about it anyway. I get, let's say, like 6 good reps, and then my friend helps me to the top, and I slowly come back down, controlling it, resisting the weight, controlling it, and then he helps me back up, and I control it down. Your biceps get used to the weight. Over time, it gets easier. Over time, your curls get easier. Ever since I introduced barbell curls, like heavy barbell curls, my, like, the bicep curls I could do with the normal dumbbells, let's say were 25 pounds, 30 pounds maybe maximum. Now I can do 40-pound bicep curls. Maybe not like the standing strict form, but I'm not swinging as much either. I'm getting stronger with the like the barbell curls. Barbell curls are an amazing exercise for you to do. So do have them in your program. Do them heavy, drop the weight, do a drop set, go crazy, burn, and have a friend spot you so he can help you up to the top. So you don't have to swing your body in case you get injured, of course. You don't have to do that. You can have a friend spot you to the top and then slowly come back down. Spot you to the top, slowly come back down. You're going to get biceps as big as this, you know? So that's the dumbbell and barbell curls covered. Now let's talk about machine curls. And like I was saying, preacher curls, starting with it. I'm not the biggest fan of preacher curls. Honestly, the preacher curl machine, not the preacher bench. Preacher benches are nice, by the way. My gym doesn't have one. They only have the preacher curl machine. The machine just feels too restrictive. It just feels awkward. It pains my wrist. I feel it on my front delt. I don't like that movement. Instead, I do, like I said, the off the incline bench. I set up the incline bench as if I'm about to do a bench press, but I do bicep curls, preacher bicep curls off of it with a dumbbell. Feels way better. I'm actually going to be consistent with it, have been consistent with it because I like the movement. I'm not going to be consistent with preacher curls on the machine because I don't like the movement. I don't do the preacher curl machine. Now, if your gym has a bicep curl machine, like an actual bicep curl machine, use it. My gym had one. It was amazing. I would spam that thing. I would freaking spam that machine. 4, 5, 6 sets per bicep, like per workout, per arm day. I would spam that machine. They took it out, but if you have that machine, use it. It is amazing. Now, you might feel awkward if you do it like both at the same time. So you might want to shift to one side, do the right side, get it done, then do the left side. Again, you're going to get, like when you're doing your left side, your right side's going to get the rest. So you can go again. You're going to be finishing your sets quicker as well. Now, standing cable curls are amazing. Either you're going to be doing with the single hand, like D-handle cable curls, or you're going to be doing with a straight bar. It's just do them, constant tension, amazing. You can kind of swing if you want, at the end, but generally for machines, I recommend you not go as heavy, but for machines, I recommend you go controlled. So for the standing cable curls, do as much weight as you can, controlled, and then you're going to slowly come back down. You're going to feel the burn, stretch, and then go up as much as you can, fail the last rep, and then, intense sets. The last one being face away cable curls, or Bayesian curls, they call it. You're going to face away from the cable stack, and you're going to do bicep curls away from the cable stack. The stretch on these is amazing, okay? Now, the variation I was talking about, the off the incline bench, like leaning on an incline bench, doing dumbbell curls like that, and face away cable curls, they're pretty much the exact same thing. Okay, so if you do one, you don't have to do the other one. But sometimes the dumbbell rack is busy. There's a lot of people there. I don't want to go over there. I just choose the cable stack. Or the cable stack is busy, so I have to use the dumbbells. It's like a variation I throw in. And if both of them are empty, I just do whichever one I feel like doing on that particular day. Simple as that. Now let's talk about concentration curls and spider curls, the absolute squeeze-based bicep movements. So the main thing on this you have to focus on is the squeeze. So when you're doing a concentration curl, you're stretching and you're coming up, you squeeze as hard as you can, and you go back down. You squeeze as hard as you can, you go back down. Okay? High reps, you don't have to go heavy on these. Just do light reps and light weight and very high reps, 25, 30 reps. And spider curls is also another variation that I throw in from time to time. Again, the squeeze is what matters in the spider curls. People complain about the spider curls being like, oh, it's not effective, it's whatever. I feel it in my biceps. I've done it for a while. It's a variation I throw in. I don't do them every single day on my arm days, but every now and again I throw in this variation, and it's amazing. The main thing for concentration curls and spider curls is the squeeze at the top. So for concentration curls, when you're doing the rep, you want to squeeze as hard as you can at the top. Same for spider curls, you want to squeeze as hard as you can at the top. So go light. You don't have to go heavy on these. I have said, okay, go heavy on the dumbbell curls, go heavy on the hammer curls, go heavy on those. But you don't need to go heavy on the concentration curls and spider curls. Go light, high reps. Focus on the squeeze. Now let's cover triceps. The exercises for triceps that I did to blow up my triceps. Not just the biceps, but also the triceps. First off, I'm going to be covering some push downs and extensions variation for triceps. The rope pushdown. The main thing about rope pushdowns is the squeeze at the bottom. When you're doing a rope pushdown, you go all the way down and you squeeze it as hard as you can. It's almost like you're trying to bend your elbow the other way, bend your elbow backward. Of course, you can't do it, but you're going to try as hard as you can. You're going to squeeze and you're going to let go very slow control, and you're going to squeeze again. You don't have to go heavy on these, by the way. These are a very good warm-up movement as well before skull crushers, which I'm going to get to soon in one of the next slides. But rope pushdowns, you don't have to go heavy. You have to go very, very light, not very light, but sort of light. You want to focus on the squeeze, like at the bottom of the movement. Squeeze as hard as you can. Really feel that, like the tricep burning, and then you're going to come back slow. And you're going to repeat that for as many reps as you can. Now, straight bar pushdowns and W bar pushdowns, you want to go heavy on these, okay? The rope pushdowns, you're going to go squeeze. You're going to go very light. Not very light, but light, okay? Lighter than you want to. Like lighter than your ego will let you. And you're going to squeeze at the bottom. Feel that tricep burn, and then you're going to come back up. Lightweight. Focus on the squeeze. For straight bar pushdowns and W bar pushdowns, you want to focus on heavy weight. Not too heavy that you're using your entire body and pushing down like that, using your lower chest and all, your shoulders, but heavy enough, okay? You don't have to go all the way down and squeeze like rope pushdowns, but you want to go heavy and do the reps, sort of like a power move, you know? Now, contradictory to that, single hand pushdowns, you want to go light, like extremely light on these, like 10, maybe 15 kgs on the cable stack. You're going to go one arm at a time. You're going to single arm pushdowns. This is more for the end of the workout. So you've already finished your workout. You've already done the heavy skull crushers. You've already done the heavy, let's say, straight bar you did that day, or rope pushdowns, or overhead tricep extensions, whichever one you did. At the end of the workout, just burn out with some single hand pushdowns. Very light and very high reps. 25 on the right side, 25 on the left side, back to 25 on the right side, and then back to 25 on the left side. Your arms are going to be pumped. You're going to only need like 2 of those sets. So 25, 25, 25, 25, 50 each side. You're going to be done. Now, overhead extensions. You want to go heavy for these. You want to make sure your form is correct, so you're not hurting your your shoulders, because you could definitely hurt your shoulders if you're not careful with the overhead extensions. Make sure your form is correct, but go heavy, okay? Learn the form with lighter weight for this one. Learn it, improve it over weeks, and then when you can, go heavy, okay? 8 to 10, maybe 12 reps, drop the weight, do 5 to 10 more reps, drop the weight again, do like a drop set style. So 8 reps heavy and then 12 reps light, kind of like that. Similar to dumbbell curls, as we discussed earlier. Now, single-handed overhead extensions, you also want to focus on the squeeze. I don't particularly like this movement as much as I do the pushdowns, you know. The single-hand pushdowns, I prefer them way more than the single-hand overhead extensions like this one right here. I prefer the single-hand pushdowns way more, but choose whichever one you like. I just like the pushdowns much more. Now let's talk about skull crushers, the main heavy movement for triceps. You don't want to come into the gym and immediately do heavy skull crushers. Do rope pushdowns. Warm up, like 2 or 3 sets of good, proper sets. It's also going to act as a warm-up before skull crushers. Just like I recommend, you don't go to the gym and immediately start squatting heavy. You go on the leg extension machine, you do 2 good sets. You do hamstring curls, 2 good sets, and then you start squatting. You're going to feel amazing when you squat. Same way with skull crushers. Start with rope pushdowns, warm your elbows up, get some blood in the triceps, and then go heavy. So, easy bar, you want to go heavy. Dumbbell, light and heavy. Let's discuss what that means. With the easy bar skull crushers, you want to go heavy. 5, 10, however many kgs on each side. You want to go heavy. If you can't push the weight up anymore, put it back down, chest press up the weight, and slowly come back down. Okay? You can't push the weight up anymore. That's fine. Bring it down, push it back up like a bench press, and then go back down again. Okay? You want to make sure that you're going to absolute failure on each and every set, because we're not going to be doing that many sets. All of these exercises, maximum of sets I'm going to do is like 3. That's it. Usually it's 2, sometimes it's 3, but never 4, never 5. Sometimes, obviously, if the machine is taken and I have to do one exercise for more sets, I will do it. But I want to make sure that I'm doing less volume, but more intensity. So you want to make sure, if you can't go anymore, like literally you're stuck here, you can't push the weight up, bring it down, bench press up the weight, and then bring it back down again, under control, as best as you can. For dumbbell, light and heavy. Start with the heavy ones, okay? You're going to take a heavy dumbbell, you're going to put it up, and you're going to go very controlled. You're going to control the weight down right there. You can't lift it, that's fine. Use your other hand to lift it up. Do like 5 reps of that. This gets your muscles used to a heavy weight because you're controlling it on the negative. You can't push up the positive just yet, but you're controlling on the negative. And then you pick a lighter dumbbell. Let's say if you do 30 pounds for the dumbbell skull crushers, heavy, you're going to bring it all the way down. You can't push it anymore? Fine. Pick a lighter dumbbell, 15 pounds, let's say, half of 30, 15 pounds, and then you can do a lot of reps. Okay, it's going to burn a lot. You're going to do a lot of partial reps, okay? A lot of different variations. You're going to drop sets, you're going to do partial reps. Start heavy, and then slowly go back to more squeezing, focused, controlled, high reps, lighter weight. Now let's talk about machines for triceps. So machine dips, amazing workout. Machine dips, you're going to go heavy. You just have like so much advantage when you're doing tricep dips on the machine. It's amazing, okay? Honestly, trust me. Tricep dip machine, like the dips machine for triceps, it's amazing. You have to get your form right, obviously, or you're going to feel it in your lower chest as well. So you want to isolate your triceps more than your lower chest. So make sure your form is correct. Make sure the seat height and adjustment is there, and go heavy, okay? And just burn it out. You can also do a superset with overhead extensions, like we discussed earlier. You can do the single arm one if you like that variation, or the one I recommend is with the W bar overhead extensions, okay? Superset it with it. Tricep machines, the tricep dip machine is amazing for tricep growth, okay? You're going to feel an amazing squeeze and stretch, and you can superset it with this as well. So definitely put this in your program. You don't have to do all of the tricep exercises, obviously, in one program in one day. Pick whichever one you like, put it in your program, try it, give it a try, and see which one you like the most, all right? But tricep dip machines, definitely include them in your program. Now, we have discussed biceps and triceps, arms, right? So biceps, triceps. But what about the forearms, though? Your forearms are part of your arms. Don't forget that. So do not ignore forearms. Make sure you have a complete forearm training split as well. I have made a video on forearm training. You can go check it out on my channel. Don't ignore forearms. It's kind of like if you're training legs and you're ignoring calves. Calves are part of your legs. The same thing. Forearms are part of your arms. So don't ignore your forearms, okay? You're going to get your biceps and triceps workout in the beginning of the workout. So biceps and triceps. Or if you're doing chest, so you're going to do triceps before chest and biceps before back. End it with a forearm session. Okay, it's not going to take you that long. It's only a few wrist curls and wrist extensions and easy bar reverse curls. It's literally that. It's not complicated. Forearm training is not, you don't have to complicate forearm training. You just have to make sure you're actually doing it and staying consistent in the long run. That's it for me. That's it for the video. I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. I just hit forearms today and I followed this exact thing, you know, with the heavy, but then you do a drop set with the lighter dumbbell and you go heavy but also high reps, and then you do the squeezing, but you also don't come into the gym and you do skull crushers. You warm up with rope extensions. All of these things I've learned over the years, over the months that I implemented this, you know, and I hope you got a lot of value. If you really did, implement them on your next arm day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.